so many times.
Hello and welcome to another beautiful time. This is The Desk on Global Television. Coming to you live from the nation's capital, Abuja, Nigeria. And of course, my name is Ramsey Enoch Agbo, and this is time to discuss vital issues right at the desk. And I have my guest joining me on the program today, but we want to talk about Nelfund today. Well, Nelfund is celebrating first anniversary, and we have a lot of people that have benefited from Nelfund. When Nelfund came, a lot of people had different notions and different beliefs. But today, it's interesting to inform you that Nelfund celebrates first anniversary with over 550,000 people applying. And of course, the Nigerian Education Loan Fund, which is Nelfund, like I said, had over 550 loan applications. And of course, within 1 year, my God. As a matter of fact, the fund made this known in a statement to mark 1 year since its launch on May 24, 2024, like we all know. And of course, the implementation of the Student Loan Scheme is President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's flagship project in the education sector. Barely a month after his inauguration, the president signed the Access to Higher Education Act, which creates a legal framework for granting loans to indigent and low-income Nigerians to help them facilitate the payment of their fees in Nigerian tertiary institutions. In just 12 months, like I said, Nelfund has already transformed access to education financing with over 600,000 students registered and over 550,000 successful loan applications. And let me also break it down that 56.85 billion naira was disbursed to cover tuition fee and provide upkeep for these students. And today, I have my guest joining me on the program. And who is my guest? You'll get to know who my guest is after this break. Let's go on a quick break. After this break, I will introduce my guest, and we will go into talking about Nelfund. We want to do an assessment of Nelfund, how far they've come. After 1 year, they are celebrating the anniversary. How has it been? A board member will be joining us on Nelfund after this break. Stay with us. Welcome back from that break. Of course, let me introduce to you, we have a board member of Nelfund right here, and he is the representative of the student at the board of Nelfund, and he is a student of Bayero University, Kano. And of course, he had a lot of positions, and in that capacity, we have him today to talk about Nelfund. Let's do an assessment of Nelfund. We have right here someone that has already been part of the system, so it's easier to actually talk about whatever that is happening in Nelfund. We have Honorable Umar Farouk Lawal on the program today. It's good to have you join us on the desk.
Thank you very much. Nice having me.
Thank you. Fortunately, you happen to be a board member of Nelfund and a representative of the students at the board. Now, Nelfund is celebrating 1 year anniversary, and we heard that about 550,000 students were able to benefit, applied, for this very loan. So now, let me ask you, how was the board able to manage this large number?
As a matter of fact, the NELFON, we have one of the best system. When I mean zero corrupt system, where a student of any tertiary institution can apply for the loan and the upkeep, and it will be given to him. There is nobody in NELFON today that will tell you that bring your son name, I'll make sure he's receiving that loan. First and foremost, the institutions we have in Nigeria, they will write to our NELFON. Once they write, then the NELFON will now, accept their letter. The Vice Chancellor, through the registrar and the other leaders in the institution, will now send the whole data of the institution. The genuine students that are in the campus, when they send the data, then the data will be installed in NELFON website. So it's left for the student to apply. But this is one of the priority of the President of Federal Republic of Nigeria, Alhaji Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Indeed, during his campaign, he promised Nigerian students student loan. Long before now, nobody knew about student loan. Our great-grandparents go to school free. So it's bringing back the old memories so that people will go to tertiary institution free of charge. Imagine they are paying your school fees. If your school fees is 200,000 naira, they are paying your school fees 200,000 naira. And they are giving you upkeep every month, 20,000 naira. And the possibility of people that are applying is very huge. You can see the number. 56,000 people have applied. Over 56,000. So this is opportunity for Nigerians, because every nation that doesn't have education automatically is a dead nation. But I am proud to be a board member representing students in the NELFON. I am proud that I supported Alhaji Bola Ahmed Tinubu, and I will be proud to tell you that the system is moving to the right destination.
All right. One of the things that a lot of people were having issues with when the NELFON actually came on board is the repayment plan. You know, as it is right now, a lot of people had so many issues with a student loan in terms of, first of all, to qualify, the criteria that makes the student qualify for this loan. How have the students been able to cope with the criteria they need to meet before they apply? Because there was a time on one of the national dailies, the person heading the leader of the board, the chairman, was actually appealing to leaders in tertiary institutions that they should be encouraged. He was trying to encourage them to apply. But one of the things that gave a lot of people setback initially was the criteria that qualify students before they can actually apply. So how were how were they able to cope with the criteria?
As a matter of fact, there's no criteria. The only criteria that are you a student? That is number one. Do you have matric number? That is number two. Number three, your school, did your school submit your data? And is your data correct in the system? There's no criteria. There's nobody that will stand for you as shorty or a civil servant level 10, level 20, or level 9 to stand for you as shorty. There's no any condition that you must meet so amount of money before you be given the loan. The loan is as zero interest as nothing. There's nobody that will be chasing you that you have not paid student loan. After 2 years, that is the law that is guiding the NELFON. After 2 years, you start paying off your loan, and it's 10%. 10% of your salary. If you are a federal government worker, a civil servant, or a businessman, if you choose, you have the money after school, after 1 year, or after 6 months, after graduation, you pay your loan, you sort your loan. And it's zero. Imagine you collected a loan of 2 million naira to finish the whole of your education. Imagine it in the next 10 years. And there's zero interest. Zero interest. And nobody is after you that if you didn't pay the loan, you are going to jail. This is one of the best systems Nigeria had. And this loan, we are appealing, we are begging students, and we are appealing to students that are in the campus, please, they should apply. They should apply. This is their money. This is the best precedent that say education must go to the permanent side. People must be educated. Because once somebody is not educated, automatically that person can be paid to go and do Boko Haram. In the next 1 year to 2 years, you will not hear of insurgency again, because there is free education for people to go to school and learn. And I believe that the work Mr. President is doing, I believe in no distant time, Nigerians will experience and believe that, yes, we have the Messiah in our dear country.
That's good. You know, I had to ask that question because there are a lot of misconceptions. You're talking about, you're encouraging students now to come and apply. Get it, it's yours. But a lot of people don't know the process. Thank God that you've already said what the criteria are. But now, come to talk about the economic situation of Nigeria and the issue of unemployment, the growing unemployment in the country. What happens if someone graduates from school? Because as it is right now, there are some people who left school long ago that have not gotten a job. Somebody who is not earning, is there a particular amount you must earn up to before you pay this, you start the payment, or it must be after the 2 years, whether you got a job or you don't have a job, you need to pay?
Yes, after 2 years. If you don't have a job, nobody's running after you. Nobody's running. This is the most softest loan I have ever seen in my life. If you spend 10 years, if you don't have a job, nobody will be after you. But the day you have a job, your name is under IPPS, or you are already having a federal government job, at least you should be able to sort your loan. So,
all right.
So there's nobody that is chasing you. The law say after 2 years, and there's no place that they say after 2 years you must pay before you even travel out. If you want to go outside the country, you are free to go.
But you need to finish payment before you travel out.
No.
Okay, you can travel out.
You can travel out.
But you still just...
This is soft loan. But you should know that this is my country. Nigeria give me, what they call it, free education. So what are you going to pay Nigeria with?
Back. All right, that brings me to the issue of Japa rights now, and the whole lot of problems that we have in the education system.
Nobody's going to run after you.
Okay, if you want to travel?
You're fine. You can travel. You can do whatever you want to do. The law say after 2 years. The law did not say after 2 years, the government, the federal government of Nigeria should be chasing you, or because you use your guaranteed GT Bank to get the loan, they will start removing money for you. I can't. No. You have to pay back the loan. It's a soft loan, very soft. No interest, zero interest. And the application process is as simple as ABCD. Just go to the website and log in your details, your age, the matric number, your whatever, the criteria. It's not much.
Oh, all right.
And you are entitled to only collect school fees, no upkeep. You are entitled to collect both the school fees and upkeep. And we give it, we disburse it. We are praying for people. We are hearing people should come and collect their loan. We are traveling to go and sensitize people. I was in Port Harcourt last week. Uniport. We are crying. We are telling students, please come and collect your money.
You know, students can be scared.
Yes.
No, the truth is this.
But you know, when there's no enlightenment, that is where we have problem. But people like us that are activists, we are fully in the system, we are begging students. They should go and apply.
Honorable.
And we are begging the institution to bring the data of
the schools,
so that the student will apply and get it.
Do we have schools that are not submitting the data of the students, or all the schools in Nigeria have
sometimes we have mistakes. Like maybe they send your matric number, maybe the matric number is not complete, or your date of birth maybe it's not complete, or your account number, you go and submit OP. We don't accept OP. We only do traditional banks, GT, Access, and other banks. But very soon we'll upgrade. Even the OP we will give them, but for now, no OP.
You're trying to refer to the fintech accounts.
Yes.
Okay, the rest of them.
Yes.
All right. You are representing the students, all right, at the board, Nelfund board. Now, have there been challenges coming from students, complaints coming from students in terms of disbursement? And of course, what monitoring process do you have in place to supervise the disbursement? Because the school send the details, all right, then the disbursement process. Have there been complaints from students because you are their representative at the board? And what supervisory team have you put in place to monitor the process for accountability?
As a matter of fact, there must be a complaint. There must be a complaint. The complaint is that I earlier said maybe from the institution did not send correct data, or a student will apply, they will say it's not successful. Now, if your institution, for example, let me use FCT as a case study. Now, if University of Abuja did not submit their data of 500 level students or 400 level students, and the student did not get it, and they apply online, because he has gotten the one of 300 level, he has gotten the one of 400 level, and maybe the one of 300 level was successful, the 300 level was not successful, maybe they have not sent his data, because we do it every section, so that we know the students that remain in the campus, and we know the students that pull out or been expelled by the institution. So I do go to the grassroots, to the campuses, so that I will hear the cry of my students. And my students are not crying much. If you cry, I'll tell you, relax. I'll make sure I put a call. I know what is the problem, and we'll try and solve it for you immediately. So in as far as I'm concerned, I have zero worry when it's come to this payment and the disbursement of the student loan fund.
All right, you made mention of the fact that what they have been given for upkeep is 20,000 naira, all right, per semester, right?
Every month.
Every month.
Every month. But even if you are on holidays, you are collecting 20,000 naira a month.
Every month.
And we are telling Nigerians that those students that will collect money for their parents and collect the soft loan, the parents should be aware that if you are sending your child to institution, to higher institution, either polytechnic, colleges of education, school of nursing, or the whole tertiary institution, in as far as being recognized by our constitution here in Nigeria, you are applying, apart from private schools.
Yes, I wanted to ask about
apart from
that.
Private schools, we don't do private schools. We want to encourage our masses, those that cannot afford it, to go. If you can afford a private school and we want to pay 10 million, you can go there. But we are more concerned about the masses of Federal Republic of Nigeria. So by God's grace, we are going to support them with education, because education is the key to success.
Yes. Education is the key to success. But Honorable, you talked about private institutions. Is there a consideration for them maybe in the nearest future?
There's no consideration for now. I cannot say in the nearest future. But for now, if you have money, you want to go to a private institution, Mashallah. If you don't have money, you don't want to go for private institution, you want to go to public institution like ABU Zaria, BUK, Nnamdi Azikiwe University, UNN, and so forth. You want to go Uniport, and fine. I was in Uniport last week for sensitization. People were crying, telling students, please, come and collect your loan. No, your money is there. Oh. So some come with complaints that they have applied, is successful, and up to now they did not get disbursement. We now say, yes, so time and so time, you get your money.
So what's responsible for the delay?
No, you know, when an institution, we are dealing with the whole institution in Nigeria. So we have to be very, very careful, and we have to be accountable for single a kobo, because that money is given to give students that doesn't have capacity to pay their school fees.
But then, let's talk about this. The money you're given for school fees, is it a specific amount, or it depends on the institution? How much the institution is paying?
Yes, it's how much the institution is paying. If the institution is paying 100,000 per student, for example, and we now know that yes, this institution will go and make our findings. They are paying 100,000 naira per student, both departmental fee, SUG fee, hostel fee, everything accumulated is 100,000.
Okay, so it depends on what the school is receiving from the students.
Then we'll now know how many people apply. Then we'll now send the money to the vice chancellor that we are pay you your school fees for so amount of people that have applied for the student loan.
All right, it is still the assessment of NEL Fund, and as a matter of fact, we have a board member of NEL Fund here who is a representative of the students at the board. And we're talking about the seamless nature of it, and of course, for the president to come up with this noble idea. He had said this is something that our parents have enjoyed in the past, talking about free education. A lot of people never had a taste of it. But right now, the student loan is tilted towards that direction. Now, the president is doing so much, okay, we are all aware, but then there is still hunger in the land, which you can't take away completely, looking at the economic situation and some of the policies of government. Now, what do you think 20,000 naira can do for a student in a month? Or is there, let me just put it this way, mildly, is there a consideration to increase the upkeep, because the price of commodities are skyrocketing every day? Some will need to buy books, some will need to pay for one or two things, still feed themselves, still out of that 20,000 naira. Is there consideration for an increment of the upkeep in time to come? Because the economy, things are not static.
As a matter of fact, this is since I was born till date, I have never seen a government that say they want to pay school fees for the entire country, the entire nation. Let's give it to the president of federal.
Of course, everybody is giving it to him.
Yes.
Especially students.
Yes. Now.
And parents.
And parents.
Yes.
Because if you are a civil servant, you are receiving 20,000 naira. I am surprised when people are saying there's hunger in the land, when Mr. President has brought up the CNG buses, so many distributed to all the 30 states, and people are still crying. And the president has increased the allowances, and the so-called our politicians, the senators and the House of Representatives, they have increased their wages. What are they doing with this money? What are they telling their people?
Okay, so now you're trying to fault your
No, I'm just telling you that there's no hunger in the land. Yes, I can defend it anywhere.
Please, I want to hear the defense.
As a civil servant, you have 3 children, and they are going to higher institution. There's student loan for them. You don't even think of their school fees first. Secondly, Every month, that student is entitled to 20,000 naira. And by God's grace, by next year, we are increasing it to 40,000 naira.
Oh, that's what I wanted to hear, Honorable.
Let me I have to tell you, because you say there's hunger in the land.
There is.
No, there is no.
According to some Nigerians.
It's not some Nigeria. If you work hard, you eat. If I'm hungry today, I can use 500 naira to feed myself and go and continue my life. 500
naira? What will you afford?
I can get a bread and cook and
a loaf of bread is 2,000. It's 2,000 naira in some locations in Abuja and even in Nigeria.
See, you cannot eat a lot of bread, a big bread. What are you eating a big bread for? A lot of bread?
No, we're talking about a family of maybe 4, 5, a family of 4 or 5.
If you are a civil servant or you are a businessman and you are doing anything, or you are a welder or you are a carpenter, your children can go to institution. They can access institution, high institution, and they can access secondary school institution. So now, as a matter of fact, let's look at this thing, the reality of life. I'm telling you, give it to Alhaji Bola Ahmed Tinubu for giving us a student loan, because we are making sure that those that are supposed to have that student loan are having it, and we are even pleading to students that you should apply.
Why are students not even applying it?
Yeah, they are afraid of the name called loan.
Because of lesson from the financial sector.
Yes.
You know how they drag people when it comes to loan.
Yes.
That's why some of the students are afraid.
And parents don't want
to get involved in anything.
But we are still trying to sensitize the parents and the students that you can apply. This is not a loan where a bank will be following you, will tell you you need to pay this, you need to pay this interest. If you didn't pay after 2 years, your money will be increasing. If you didn't pay after 2 years or 3 years, when you want to go outside the country, because we have your NIM, we have your passport data photograph, and the rest, you have to.
It's not so.
This is more or less, Alhaji Bola Ahmed Tinubu more or less is telling students, go to school free.
Go to school free?
Yeah.
And we are even aware that his son, Sheyi, is also doing his own best to actually conscientize the youth the right direction. We'll talk about that maybe after the break. Let's go to a quick break. When we return from this break, we'll look at so many other things happening around the NEL Fund, and of course, some support systems coming from the people around the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Well, my guests have said there is no hunger in the land, and he was able to tell us the reason why, because parents are not supposed to be crying anymore for school fee and upkeep of their children if they have some in the tertiary institution. But do we all have children in the tertiary institution? Well, we'll talk about all of that when we return from this break. Stay with us.
That global television can be watched in Nigeria and all over the world.
Download the Global TV Nigerian mobile app for Android and iOS devices to watch global television real-time from around the world. What are you waiting for?
Start downloading and stay connected to global television.
Welcome back from that break. It is still the desk. And on the desk today, we're looking at the NEL Fund. That is an assessment of NEL Fund. And we have a board member representing the students who are direct beneficiaries of this fund right here. As a matter of fact, he's been a stakeholder. And of course, he's still a stakeholder. And he has given us some analysis and insight into how to acquire this loan. A lot of Nigerians are really skeptical when they hear the name loan because they believe that this is monies that if been taken, some persons will come after you after a while. We just heard about the NISA loan, all right? Some people that got the loan, what's happening, some persons are complaining of deduction and all of that. And for the financial sector, if you take a loan from there, the way you are being pursued, some persons were even crying recently that their names were being published until the federal government came to do something about it, and will still give that to the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, who have actually ensured that people working at different areas are trying to protect the interests of Nigerians. Now let's get back to NEL Fund. You are the one representing the students. One of the areas that I really want us to talk about is what other plans. I know you're already doing sensitization, but then this is 1 year. All right, 1 year anniversary, and we have the total of students who have actually applied and people who registered and people who have gotten and how much has been disbursed already. And it's so amazing that you are even saying you're moving from school to school, begging students to come and apply. How is the response like? Looking at the orientation you are giving to students, is there a change of attitude towards the assessment of this loan? Are they now coming to get the loan? Is the application increasing?
Yeah, as a matter of fact, you know, when a student have admission to a tertiary institution, there's what we call sensitization nights by the SUG presidents. The student union government will now organize 100-level sensitization nights to make sure they bring out the students that are just apply and 100-level students to tell them much about the institution. Now, from the NEL Fund, I give it to the director of operation and the MD CEO of our board, our NEL Fund. Then the board chairman is doing his own job too as well. If the staffs that are working under NEL Fund are not working day and night, I don't think we will have these large numbers of people or students that apply and get the loan. Now, a government of 1 year, you cannot just a institution that has built is celebrating 1 year as of today. You cannot judge him that he's not doing excellent. Take a look at the number, 56.85 Nigerian students. And take a look at how much has been disbursed for students. So, if you look at the resources and the population, you give it, anybody that scored 58 in an exams, he has passed the exams. So in 1 year, if we can cover this number of people, 58 points.
550,000.
550, thank you. If we can cover that number, then automatically imagine in the next 1 year with our sensitization program, come and collect your loan. A school that has population of 20,000 students or 15,000 students, when you have only 3,000, 4,000 students applying for the loan, automatically we need more sensitization that people should collect this loan. This is their money. Mr. President say Nigerian students should enjoy themselves.
All right, looking at 56.85 billion naira being disbursed already. That is so much. Talking about sensitization and orientation for students in school. Sometimes the problem is not even with the students, their parents. Because their parents will say, well, anything loan, please, I don't want it. All right, let me go to farm, do what I want to do the struggle and all of that, because of the mentality of the parents as regards loan. Apart from sensitizing the students in school, like you talked about the orientation night for the 100 level students just now, is there any effort to also sensitize? Well, that's part of what we are doing now. But apart from what we are doing now, sensitizing parents at home, because millions of Nigerians are listening to us right now. Apart from this one that we are doing, is there any other form of orientation program arranged for parents to allow their children take
Yes,
this
yeah. You know, when we finish from the campus, we'll now go back to church, we'll go back to mosques, we'll now move to the field and tell Nigerians that this loan is soft loan. We are doing that on daily basis. We are reaching out on daily basis. We are spreading the gospel, the goodwill that Mr. President has given to our dear nation. Because when you have a nation where there are more educated people, there's no way you find terrorism, there's no way you find cultism in their campuses, there's no way you have insecurity in our dear nation. So automatically, Mr. President is using one stone to keep plenty birds. And we are still going around the whole country, and we'll speed it again so that we'll do more sensitization to parents, so that parents will know that yes, this student loan is real, this student loan has come to stay. Before I was born, my great-grandfather went to school free. People like Muhammad Buhari, their age bracket, went to school free. They'll come back from school with peanuts, with money. Now Mr. President has bring it back.
All right, let's talk about this quickly. Our time is fast spent, but let's talk about the issue of repayment now. What happens for people who may not, you know, we're talking about Nigerians here, whether you like it or not. There are some persons who may want to, all right, you believe, some persons will tell you this is a national cake. When it's time to pay, whether they are working or not, they may not want to pay. In a situation like that, what happens? And in a situation where someone becomes handicapped or a situation arises and they are not able to pay,
the federal government has waived it for him. If you are dead, they have waived it for you.
Okay, the parents will not be meant to pay.
Nobody. No parent will be running helter-skelter that I'm going to repay the loan of my son. First and foremost, when you are filling the form online, there's no place that they'll say, you should install somebody's name or the next of king. That if you are dead or you are no more, the person will pay. It's being forgiven. It's a very soft loan. And no interest. You can spend 10 years. When you want to pay, you look at the money. Maybe you're a billionaire, or you're a PAMSEC, or you're this, or you're that. You get the money and bring back to the coffers of the federal government. But this is a very soft loan.
But what of people who arrogantly feel, well, this is government money, why are they asking me to pay? And they want to abscond. What will happen to people like that?
Once you are working with federal government, or you are working
in the private sector,
or
a business owner,
yes,
an entrepreneur,
yes, or entrepreneur, and they are watching the system of your account. So if you can't pay the student the loan that the federal government has given you, if the federal government did not give you loan to go to institution, how can you go to an institution and you are benefiting from it? And we should have conscience.
But what of people
when the government is doing something for you, you should do it for your country as well. One way or the other, you should contribute to your country, to the growth of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. We don't have any country to go apart from Nigeria. This is our dear country. This is our fatherland. This is our motherland. This is what we have. So we should be able to maintain it. And that is why we are encouraging our lecturers to make sure they mold the best out of the students we are giving them.
Oh, but then, my question is, some persons are just like that. That's their nature. They feel it's a national cake.
But is
the
it
federal
the right
government,
thing?
it's not the right thing, but some people,
So that's
some
why
people
we
don't
are
even
saying,
care whether
that
it's
is
right
why
or
I'm
wrong.
saying that when you say there's hunger in the land the other time, I told you there's no hunger. When you are doing the right thing, there will not be hunger.
But have you
But when you are not doing the right
people on
thing,
the streets?
when you are doing people in the streets,
Yeah, the average Nigerians.
the average Nigeria, go to outside the country and see what other people are passing through. When you come to Nigeria, you feel you are in their heaven. Nigeria is the best country that some people don't pay tax and government overlook them. Yes, I can say it. Nigerians, we don't obey rules and regulation, and government overlook at it. This is a country where you can have 10 cars, nobody is collecting tax on those 10 cars. Now the president is trying to set the nation so that the country will go straight, and some charlatans are busy somewhere trying to sabotage the work of the president. By God's grace, God will not allow them to do that. And God will support Mr. President to achieve whatever he wants Nigeria to be. And we are going to support him to make sure Nigeria becomes the best country in the world, because we are the best, we are the richest, we are the most powerful human beings on earth. Go to anywhere in this world, you will see Nigerians are heading that places.
Oh, all right. Apart from NEL Fund now, okay, the Nigerian Education Loan Fund, apart from that, what's your assessment of the educational sector generally in Nigeria as we try to round up?
As a matter of fact, the educational sector is doing very well now, and we are urging the Minister of Education to do more, because there's nothing that is 100% perfect, and we are praying for him, and we will give him our maximum support to make sure he achieve the best in education sector. And we want to thank Mr. President for giving Nigerian students loan, soft loan. We are not saying hard loan, soft loan with zero interest. This is the best president that look into student leadership, student structure. This is the best president that look at the grassroots, because we are not giving the loan to private institution. We are giving the loan to grassroots.
So Nance is satisfied with NEL Fund, right?
Wonderful. Nance, this is the first president that is giving a student leader CNG buses to ease their transportation. And not only the student leaders, including the students inside the campuses. Now go to the whole campuses in Nigeria, they have CNG buses that is transporting them from point A to point B at very low rate. Very low rate. If a car that is using petroleum is using 20 naira or 30 naira from Gwagwalada campus to their main campus, is to Giri main campus, is 30 naira from there with fuel, then the CNG is collecting 5 naira. So imagine the gap of 30 naira and 5 naira. So which one will you go to?
5 naira, of course.
Good. And we are having a loan of 20,000. And we are praying and hoping that the president will shift it, will increase it to 40,000.
I think that will be better, because
even
though for you there is no hunger, you're not hungry, but some Nigerians may be hungry, because we speak with these people all the time.
Is there no agriculture?
But then,
in our country, we have the best soil in the world. Tell me, if as I have a farm, I go to farm. Forget about the political district. I go to farm. I work hard. Sometimes I sleep 3 hours, 4 hours in a day to make sure I think how I am going to get out of it. All right. But people will be sleeping, they want the government to go and do everything.
Our time is up, Honorable. It's so good to have you join us on the program today. It has been the desk reaching you live and direct from the nation's capital, Abuja. And of course, Global Television is on DSTV channel 365 and Star Times channel 276. And we are on all social media platforms. And of course, we've been able to have a robust discussion with a board member of NEL Fund, who is a student representative at the board. Honorable, many thanks for joining us today. We'll hope to have you some other time on the desk. All right, viewers out there, this is going to be the size of the desk for today. Let's just keep our fingers crossed. One of the things the president will always say and have been saying is that there will be light at the end of the tunnel. And as a matter of fact, we've heard from the representative of the students how disbursement has been going on in with NEL Fund, because transparency and accountability is one thing that Nigerians are very interested in. And of course, the orientation, I will let you know how the orientation has gone down with parents and students to make them go for this loan, which the federal government have said it is for them. Many thanks once again for joining us on the desk tonight. My name is Ramsey Enoch Agbo. Would come on your way again for the next edition of The Desk. Bye-bye for now and have a wonderful evening.